I'm pretty frustrated right now. This is taking forever. I did not realize this was going to take me the entire day. I was hoping to not have to take off the fan and the fan shroud off the front of the engine, but I need to get the engine to top dead center, and I just have no room to work. I can't get any tools in there to try to turn the engine over. So that's what I'm going to have to do now. I got to take all that stuff off. I was really trying to take off as few parts as possible because that's just going to make the job even longer having to put everything back on. Did not want to take the fan or the shroud out of here, but I'm glad I did now. I've been struggling for at least an hour trying to get tools down in here to get the engine to turn over to find top dead center. Now I've got lots of space to work. I should have just took this off to begin with. Day 2. I had to stop filming the other day when I was working on the dump truck because of the weather. It got very windy, it started raining, the wind blew my tripod over so my phone and my microphone fell into the mud. Yesterday was miserable. It was wet, cold, raining. I did not work on the truck at all yesterday. I had to spend some more money. I bought a timing light. I didn't get a fancy one, I just got pretty much a basic one. A lot of auto parts stores have loaner tool programs, and I have borrowed tools with a deposit from auto parts stores before. I thought they had timing lights. I thought I could borrow one because I don't own one. I've never used one before. Well, I have called many different auto parts stores, cannot find one to rent or borrow. Nobody that I know has one, so I bought one. I'm going to put the battery in this thing and hopefully we're going to get it started. The frustration continues. It's very muddy out here. It won't quit raining. The other day, the dump truck would not fire. So today I'm going to try a few different things. Before I started taking the engine apart, I should have put it up on my gravel driveway and worked on it up there. At least I wouldn't be getting so muddy. I got some advice from a friend of mine at work. yesterday. He told me a few things to try. Number one, I'm going to change the way that I'm getting power to the HEI distributor. I tried to pull power from the old ignition coil, I think it is, but a lot of that wiring in this dump truck is so janky and hacked up. I don't even know what is what. I don't know what is going through the computer. I am going to take the 12 volt power that I need for the distributor straight from the fuse panel. I think that is one way to eliminate a problem. The next thing I'm going to do is pull the distributor back out. I'm going to take the valve cover back off, pull the spark plug back out. I'm going to try to find top dead center again. Basically, I'm just going to go through the steps of finding top dead center, putting the distributor back in. Just slow down a little bit now that I've already done it one time. I'm going to do it again and just make sure that I've done each step correctly. And of course, all while dealing with this mud. It is terrible out here. You know, I've got some boards laying out here that I'm walking on. Yeah, check out my nice shop that I'm working in. Big mud puddles everywhere. Look at the front of my dump truck where I'm climbing in and out of the engine trying to work on it. Got mud all over everything. Out here where I've been trying to clear the backyard, there's standing water everywhere. It's very boggy and muddy. Even if I had this dump truck running right now, I don't even think I could use it because it's so muddy out here. I'm going to pull the plug wires back off. Going to unbolt the distributor. I took off the little clamp that holds the distributor down and pull it back out. Got to take the fan blade back off. These things are so bad, rusted and chewed up. I think people have been taking pliers to them over the years. I think just the nut is supposed to come off, but a couple of them, the whole thing is coming out. There's a bracket here that the throttle cable is attached to. I have to loosen it up so I can get the valve cover off. Take off the valve cover. I don't know if you can see this, but this is part of what I'm talking about. This is what a lot of the wiring looks like. I mean, I've got brown hooked to red. Probably not even any kind of connector. I think they're just twisted and taped together. I eventually am going to be eliminating all this kind of junk wiring out of this thing. Going to pull out the number 1 spark plug. I'm going to put my ratchet down on the crank bolt, start turning the engine over, watching these valves, trying to find top dead center. Okay, now I see the exhaust valve is going down. I believe that means it's opening. Now it's starting to come back up. Now I've always heard there's 2 top dead centers, one on the exhaust valve and one on the compression. Looking down here at the balancer, I see the line is almost at 0. So that makes sense. I must be around top dead center on the exhaust. I got to keep spinning to try to get top dead center on the compression. So now the valve is going down. Now it's coming back up, which is closing the valve, if I understand correctly. And I believe if I put my finger over the hole for the spark plug, I should feel some air coming out. Okay, I felt the air, so this valve, the compression is closed. I felt the air blowing out, so I should be pretty close to top dead center. Now what I'm looking for is the line. I'm going to keep turning it so I see the line on the harmonic balancer come around and line up with the 0. Okay, I'm getting close. My line is here now. Alright, as best that I know, I am pretty close to top dead center. You can see the mark there on the harmonic balancer. I think I'm going to actually go ahead and set it around 8 degrees before top dead center. Now that's about 10. That should be about 8. I'm going to try to go ahead and put my spark plug back in, at least loosely, so nothing happens to it. I don't want to drop it down in the mud. I'm always nervous about stripping these or breaking them off. I'm going to put my valve cover back on. This thing is disgusting. At some point I'll take it back off. I'll take both of them off and I'll probably pressure wash them. I may get new ones, or I may just try to clean these up and paint them. This one's got a lot of rust and just a lot of buildup of junk on it. So I don't have a torque wrench, and I'm not building a racing engine here, so I do what I have to do. Just snug it down the best I know how. Now I've got to put the distributor in. The hard part to me is getting the oil pump to line up. I'm going to use a long screwdriver, turn the oil pump. I want that distributor, when I drop it in there, I want it to line up just right, so I know the distributor is pointing to the number 1 cylinder, and I want to know that the engine is still set at around 6 degrees, 8 degrees, top dead center. Things are going pretty good so far. I'm feeling pretty good about the way it's going. Next I need to drop the distributor in there, and the hard part is to get the oil pump lined up so the distributor falls completely in there. So I had to go get a really long screwdriver. I'm going to use this to stick it down in the intake and turn the oil pump to the direction that I need. It's starting to get really foggy out here now. I think it's supposed to rain here in a couple of hours. Yeah, it's supposed to rain again. It's going to rain all next week. I'm never going to finish this yard project and get my swimming pool started. Well, that's the best I can do. It's all the way down there, but the rotor, I guess it's called, is pointed straight ahead. It's not pointed at number 1. But the way I understand it, it doesn't really matter as long as when I put the cap on, the number 1 plug is near there, so it hits it first. So I'm gonna put a bracket back on there. I left the distributor a little bit loose because when I get it running, I'm gonna have to set the timing, so I'll need to turn the distributor a little bit to adjust the timing. Got to plug in the distributor cap. I've got to put my spark plugs back on here. I've got my little diagram. Now I need to find some 12-volt power for the distributor. I want to come straight off the fuse block, so I'm going to have to get under the dash and figure out how does that fuse block come out of there so I can get to the back of it.